Tune in tonight. Minnesota tonight. Minnesota tonight.
Hi everyone, I'm Cody Nelson.
And I'm Lizzie Gardner, and this is the state of Minnesota. A new bill introduced to Minnesota legislature would require all state police officers to take 4 hours of mental health crisis management training. When reached for comment, a therapist said, yeah, 4 hours, that should be good.
At 6:10 a.m. last Tuesday, tornado sirens mistakenly blared citywide, waking up and scaring many Minneapolis residents. A spokesperson for Hennepin County said the sirens are tested daily and a malfunction arose due to that daily testing. So wait, the test is to make sure the sirens go off, but the malfunction is that the sirens went off? That's not a news story, that's a riddle you give to a computer to make sure it's not sentient.
Last Tuesday celebrated Equal Pay Day in Minnesota, highlighting the statewide wage gap, which shows women are reported to make 81 cents for every dollar a man makes, explaining why my single mom tried so hard to convince me that a Zoom was just as good as an iPod.
Nickel Creek mandolinist Chris Thiele will take over as the new host of Prairie Home Companion once Garrison Keillor steps down in October. When asked about the timing of his retirement, Keillor said, "It just didn't feel right to leave until all of my fans were dead."
Indeed Brewing, LSD, and that's lavender, sunflower honey, and dates LSD, was forced by feds to change its name after distribution across state lines began to make people question the ingredients due to the name. Good to see that reading comprehension is still tripping Wisconsin up.
Governor Dayton has asked the Department of Homeland Security to accept Minnesota IDs which don't meet real ID requirements at federal buildings and military bases, locations that need real IDs to gain access to. And guys, I did some digging. Holographic Charizards only work at federal buildings, and that's only if Kevin's working. A recent study shows that it costs about $1,000 more to send a 4-year-old to preschool in Minnesota than it does an 18-year-old to college. When reached for comment, a Starbucks junior barista said, "Yeah, my student loans are really getting out of control."
A woman was shot 4 times in her car by an unknown driver in front of the Walker Art Museum before transporting herself to Hennepin County Medical Center. When reached for comment, the woman said, "Yeah, I don't know, I still don't get performance art, but it's definitely gotten more interactive." The first turkey hunting season of the year opened last Wednesday, a season that brought a few changes of protocol. More hunting time will be allotted to each hunter, those time periods will be longer, and in a real curveball, the turkeys get guns too!
For the first time since 1919, the U.S. Postal Service has lowered their stamp prices from 49 to 47 cents. Hold your applause. I, for one, am very relieved I can finally afford to mail all my bills now.
Congratulations. A 17-year-old Columbia Heights boy is in critical condition after injuring himself while car surfing. And look, I know it's easy, you want to laugh, but car surfing is a gateway surf. Many white men who car surfed as teens go on to couch surfing, or even, God forbid, just regular surfing.
The city of St. Paul is predicting the new Minnesota United Soccer Stadium to bring a long-awaited economic renaissance to the city. One official was quoted as saying, "You know what, Minneapolis might have their beer and their sports and their culture and their music and their food and their nightlife and their personality. If you want a low-scoring, slow-paced, most ignored sport that's only respected in Europe, we'll see you in St. Paul."
Stillwater High School girls hockey coach Tony Scheid stepped down last week after what he calls a series of unrelenting and vicious verbal attacks of an intensity unlike anything I've ever imagined. Wow. You know what they say about successful hockey organizations? Clear violations of personal boundaries, full-on relentless verbal abuse, can't lose! Minnesota forever!
Hormel Foods announced plans to tweak the ingredients in a handful of their flagship products, including Spam. To calm supporters, the company spokesperson said while changes are coming, Spam at its core will remain the same 3 ingredients: can, goop, and calories.
Wisconsin Governor Scott Walker recently said he laughed at but would think about Donald Trump potentially picking Walker as a vice president. Sources say the two bonded over the fact that despite everyone's best efforts, they're both still politicians.
A recent study conducted by the U of M on smartphone usage showed that emojis are confusing due to the fact that a single emoji can look slightly different when displayed across a number of different smartphone brands. One researcher was quoted as saying, "It didn't help that many of the participants in the study hadn't seen a human face since 2008.
A new study shows that, on average, the richest 5% of men in the Twin Cities live 13 years longer than the poorest 5%, which, I mean, it makes sense because everybody knows that it takes at least 13 years to finish building your dream yacht.
Usually more.
Wow.
A woman who was attacked for speaking Swahili at a Coon Rapids Applebee's is on the forefront of trying to make hate crimes a felony in Minnesota. If I may speak to you directly, miss, between you and me, at the risk of sounding like one of your attackers, you should probably get the fuck out of Coon Rapids.
A physicians advocacy group has come out against Hennepin County Medical Center's usage of live sheep for medical tests and training. I'm all for this too, because you know what? It would actually allow sheep to get back to doing what they really, really are meant here to do. Advertising mattresses and being sexually harassed by the Welsh.
And finally, tonight's top story takes us to the North Shore. Last Friday, a man in Two Harbors, Minnesota was pulled over for going 171 miles an hour. Local police said they initially clocked the man at 171, then 168, then 143. And I don't know a lot about the law, but it can't be a good sign if the cops are also keeping track of your second and third highest speeds.
The situation escalated when the police realized they had to drive 130 miles per hour themselves just to get the driver to notice their flashing lights. However, something tells me that a person driving 171 miles per hour in the first place isn't really the type to respond well to the word stop.
And in addition to that, a second cop car had to be brought in after the first cop realized they actually really liked driving 130 and then just sort of kept doing it.
After finally pulling the man over, the officers alerted him to how quickly he was driving, to which the driver replied that he knew that his speedometer was being weird and he would definitely get it looked at now.
At press time, unknown sources discovered and leaked a copy of the driver's license photo. Thanks a lot, guys. I'm Cody Nelson.
And I'm the Midwestern version of Jennifer Connelly.
Thank you.
Minnesota tonight. Minnesota tonight. Yeah. Tune in. Minnesota tonight. Tune in. Minnesota tonight. Minnesota tonight. Tune in. Minnesota tonight.